All right, folks, we back at it again, man. Listen, normally, of course, every time I hit one of these countries, I get people who will ask me to compare. All right, so I can't do any comparisons for you guys. Different people like different things. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go through a few pros and cons with you guys that I've noticed since I've been here. This is specifically going to be for Rio. Just my opinion. You might have a different one, or you might have some caveats to it. If you do, drop a comment below, of course. So what we're gonna do once again, just to clarify, just go through a few pros, and then I'm gonna follow it up with a con, and then I'm gonna do a pro. That's how we're gonna do it. Then last but not least, we're gonna cover dating. But before I do, Rich's method, back at it again. Don't forget, subscribe, click the bell notification, hit notify all. Make sure you drop your comments. Make sure you hit that like button right now before we get started. Absolutely go ahead and share the videos on your Facebook and your Instagram. For my travelers, I highly recommend that you get the ebook and audiobooks on travel, safety, and dating. And for those who want to live abroad, get the cheat sheet to financial freedom and the good life, how to live or slow travel abroad. Available for instant download at payhip.com/Rich's Method. All the links are also in the description below. So let's go. All right, now the first thing you will notice when you arrive in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, energy, man. This is a city of energy. I cannot knock it. It can rival any major city around the world when it comes to the energy, but it's got an energy of its own. So you notice the beautiful sights, the mountains, the rivers, the infrastructure, right? You don't feel like you were necessarily outside of the United States or any North American country. However, you know automatically by looking around that you are, right? So the energy for sure. All right. Now, some people might say that along with that big energy of a big city and that kind of vibrant feel, if you are not a single person, if you are a couple, it'll be great for you. If you're a single person, it'll be great for you. I'm not entirely sure that if you're living in Copacabana, Ipanema, anywhere near the beaches, anywhere near Lapa, any of those areas, it's going to have that feeling of New York City. If any of you ever lived there, or maybe even certain parts of downtown Los Angeles, a major, major city, definitely a lot of brick, tall buildings, not a lot of, let's say, parks necessarily, or big space for family and the kids to run around. The apartments are the same, but I'll get into that with you. I most likely, like most cities, if you want that kind of family vibe, you're going to have to go away from the more metropolitan areas, right? So that might be a con depending on who you are. It's a pro if you're a single person or if you're a couple that is traveling or vacationing, right? Absolutely. No, and a big pro that comes along with the fact that it's a city of energy is that you have lots to do. I mean, whatever you like, man, you could get into it. If you want beaches, you have that. If you hate beaches, because there's some people who literally don't like the sand or they don't like the water, you've got museums here, you've got aquariums here, you've got the Celeron Stairs or Lapa Steps, which is like a popular little area. Of course, you got Christ the Redeemer, which is one of the world's wonders of the world, right? You could go see that. If you just want to go to the little bohemian looking places and enjoy art, street art, art in museums, you have that there, right? So that is absolutely a pro. The ability to do whatever you like, no matter what you are into, I would say this city has it. You can go surfing, you got mountain climbing, you've got with rock climbing really. I see people riding bikes, roller skates, you name it, man, you've got it, right? And if you just want to go fine dining, you've got that. If you just want to find a little mom and pop restaurant, you've got that. So I'm glad I brought that up because I'm going to also get into food, right? So right now, when it comes to entertainment, a pro is you have lots of options. A con is you also have lots of options. So if you're one of those people who are trying to be on a budget and you don't have the self-control and you don't want to just sit and cook at home, you can break your budget, right? You could absolutely find anything you need. I saw Chinese places here, not too many of them, but I've seen every type of cuisine here when it comes to the food. That can be a con depending on how you look at it. If you're already saying to yourself, you know what, I'm going to a Brazil, I'm going to a Copacabana, I'm going to Rio, it's a health culture, you absolutely have that here. But if you want to get your burgers, your steak, you know, the source might be a little healthier, but you can find the unhealthy stuff here too.
Hello, my friend. How are you?
What's going on, man?
My name is
Man, I
Marcelo.
really look American, don't I?
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
This is my boss.
No, I'm saying, right away you know I speak English.
Do you speak English?
I
no?
look different, huh?
No, not different. I look in you
Yeah, I
for
know.
bota.
Oh, the shoes.
In the shoes is different.
Zapatos in Espanol.
It's my post, my friend. Quitéria Beach.
How much you guys selling the caipirinha for?
Caipirinha is looking.
Yeah,
I have
yes?
lemon. No, it's 20. 20 reais,
Oh,
5.
300 milliliters. 15. Oh, no. I've been
No,
living
it's
here a while.
300 ml.
Yeah, 300
400
milliliters.
ml, 20 reais.
No. Yo quiero para... ¿Tú hablas español?
Sí, hablo español.
Okay, yo quiero 300 milliliters para...
Okay.
For 10.
Okay, for you.
Oh, yes,
Okay, good price.
Let me tell you guys something, right? When I used to live in Florida, man, one of my favorite date night spots used to be TGI Fridays, right? I'm coming out of the airport into Rio, and bam, there it is, TGI Fridays, American blah, 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 blah. I think I even saw an American steakhouse. Anyway, so listen, yeah, you got all that. Let's get into infrastructure. Now, for you guys who think that Brazil is a third world country, nope, you're wrong. It's got one of the world's largest GDPs, man, a couple $1 trillion a year. It's absolutely a developed country, just below, I would say, the United States, Canada, and Europe, most European nations, right, that are doing well. And I'm not talking about them combined, because you got a lot of poor European nations, right? But I'm talking in general. It's a very developed country. Rio itself is a vacation area. So just like certain parts of Los Angeles with the beaches, and just certain like South Beach in Miami, you got that separation between the rich and the poor, right? You got your hospitality industry people, and then you got your financial people or your regular people. Now, with that said, the capital for finances is not in Rio, people. It's actually in Sao Paulo. That's the financial capital. Rio is more like the Miami and Los Angeles, like I said. But, you know, you can walk down the road and see that there's a separation in wealth. I saw a Porsche Cayenne the other day sitting on the side of the road in Copacabana here. And then, you know, if you go to Lapa and those areas, you got people that are just homeless. You'll even see homeless in the streets in Copacabana, wherever you are, right? So it's more obvious. So it might kind of fit that LA and Philadelphia kind of vibe when it comes to that. I don't want you guys to think like, oh my God, America doesn't have that. Maybe if you live in the burbs or in the country areas of America, you haven't seen the city life in America in most major cities these days, right? So that separation also exists here. So infrastructure-wise, if you want a nice, big, huge apartment and the top of the skyscraper penthouse, you got to spend that kind of money, right? If you get to the lower end of the budget, you've got your tiny little New York type apartments where, you know, some people in the rest of America would be like, what the hell? This is what you get for $1,000-$2,000? All right, so there's an exchange rate here. So obviously for us Americans, if we were to spend an equal amount of money of what you spend in the United States and here, obviously we would get more. But as you understand the conversion of the money, you'd be like, you know what? You really got to spend more to get, you know, higher quality over here also, right? So I would say with that, that's some of the pros, that's some of the cons. And that's when it comes to things like housing, hotels, you know, just living. Now, when it comes to things like food, absolutely that's a pro. The pro is food is fairly inexpensive compared to the United States, and it's fairly healthy if you choose correctly, right? And you got all the different options. Now, let's talk about other things of infrastructure. Electricity, it's absolutely stable. Haven't had any lightouts since I've been here, or blackouts is what some people would call it, or brownouts. Internet is great, depending on what you want to pay for. You can get all the way to 5G, data plans, everything. Speaking about data and technology, man, let me tell you, this place right here, Everything is digitized. You could pay with your phone. You could pay with your tap of your card. You can pay Google Pay. I mean, they got something here called Pix. I mean, down to the vendors on the street will be using the automated pay systems here, right? Pretty much everything is digitized down to the menus at the stores. Even you could order, their version of Uber Eats, which is called Rappi. And then other than the menu, when you go to the stores, you just bring it up on your phone because you scan the QR code or whatever. When you go into the subway systems too, most of the booths are not open, or maybe they just got a couple people helping you through and there's the security there. But you're buying your cards like New York City subways, and the subway systems are extremely clean, smell good, no funky smells like New York. And there's a display either in the train and then also outside the train. You got the what do you call it, like the stops, right? Highlighted electronically or regularly. But then what I really love is you got the little TVs like at the airport telling you exactly how many minutes before the next train arrives and the next train, right? So you got tram systems, which is the above ground trains. You got bus systems. You got it all here, man. You could use Uber. I think they got their version called 99 also, but you could absolutely use Uber. 99 is their competitor. It's very easy to move around the city. No, with those things came the pro. One of the cons is that they use something here called a CPF system, which is like their tax ID or Social Security, but it works for payments here. So it's a little different. No, it is an extra step. It is cheap to actually attain one, but it does take like a day, two, or maybe three to get it totally done, right? A couple business days. Probably about like 8 reals, 7 reals at the time of shooting this video. However, that's about like, I want to say $2, $3, right? Then you got to get your birth certificates. You got to get your passport information, and you got to submit it all with a photo holding it, or you could go into the physical location with the birth certificate and your passport. Now, why is this number a little bit of an inconvenience? Because when you go certain places to do certain things, they might ask you for it, even though you're a tourist or you're not going to be here permanently, or you just, So they might say when you go to get a data plan, because you want a SIM card to be able to order your Ubers and stuff like that, or be able to use it when you're not in your hotel or in your Airbnb. You might go to a grocery store and they might ask you to do that. If you try to get help on something and require customer service, when you call them, they might ask you for one of those numbers. And unlike the United States where you don't want to give out your social security number, here you give it out all the time. Their version, the CPF, CFP, CPF. But that becomes a little bit of an inconvenience. It's a tax ID, really, how people pay taxes here, right? And that's definitely a con because it makes it a little harder for you to move around and do what you got to do as a visitor in a digital world. Let's talk about dating. Now, dating, what most of you been waiting for. Last but not least, listen, man. If you're a single person, this is absolutely the place to be. That's the pro. You, whether you're a woman or a man, you've got everything for everybody out here. No matter what type of person you're into, whether you're really into tattoos, people who work out, people who don't work out, everything in between, every single shade, color, short, tall, fat, slim, you name it, you've got it, right? Whatever kind of activity you guys are into, you've got it here. If you're a short-term kind of person, if you're a long-term relationship kind of person, if you're looking for in between, you can find it in Rio, man. Between 11 million to 13.5 million people, that's a lot of options. Now, you might ask yourself, if that's the case, what the hell could be the con about dating here? Well, there's so many options. I mean, if you go to the beach culture portion of Rio, man, it's a head turner, right? I mean, you look left, you look right. If you're the type of person who don't really know what you want, you can potentially think you always got more options. So that can be a con for you, depending on your situation, right? So yeah, kind of, new person to Rio, just my kind of first impressions, what I think about some of the general things over here. Go to payhip.com/riches method. Download the Traveler's Cheat Sheet. That's a guide to dating, safety, and travel. And if you'd like to live abroad, I've also got a book for that. That's called The Good Life, How to Live or Slow Travel Abroad. And for y'all who need just a little bit of help, on the financial side of how to make this happen, I got the financial cheat sheet. All of them available for instant download at payhip.com/richesmethod. And I'll check you guys on the next one.